Welcome to Inspired by HQ, Corinne. We feel very blessed to have such an incredible role model like you now calling Adelaide home.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a joy to be here.
Thank you. You grew up in a town of 1,100 people. What was it like growing up knowing everybody?
I not only knew them, I was related to half of them. So I tell you what, you couldn't do anything naughty because everyone would find out about it. So I grew up, you know what? I grew up learning how to be sneaky. When I first moved down to Melbourne, which is where I went to university, and I was going to lectures at university, there were more people in my lectures than had been in my whole high school. And I walked into the first room and just went, I didn't know you could put this many people in one room.
How many people were at your school?
300. That was it. When I walked into my first lecture and there were 300 people in it, I just went, oh, this is more people than I've ever seen in one room ever in my life.
Corinne, you and your friends wrote a story when you were around 10 years old called Gertrude the Witch.
Yes.
And you entered that into a writing competition. Where did you get the inspiration for it?
Like I said, I was a naughty kid. So the three of us, there was a pine forest behind the town where we grew up. And we loved reading Enid Blyton books. I don't know whether kids still read Enid Blyton now, but it's lots of fairies and trolls and magical things, and there's big pine forests, and we would go up into the pine forest and pretend we were in an Enid Blyton book. And lots of stories about witches and Spike Milligan and Roald Dahl and all of those stories. So we decided to write our own magical story about a witch, except there was a lot of poo and wee and fart jokes and a lot of snot in it. And we entered it in a competition, and our story was kicked out of the competition because it was not suitable for children.
Yeah, it was written by children.
We were 10 when we wrote it, yes.
Corinne, you were unknowingly honing your creative writing skills. I know a lot of people at my school who really enjoy creative writing, and it's fascinating to see that you could put that into writing your own skits, comedy shows, and even your book.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is really just have fun. That's where it started for me. I loved writing stories and I loved performing with my friends, and I didn't expect anything out of it. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to be famous or on telly or anything like that. I just did it because I loved it and it was fun for us. And I always have enjoyed entertaining other people and seeing them happy out of what I'm doing. So just having fun, and the ideas flow when you're having fun.
It must have been very empowering to create your own gigs without waiting for permission as well.
Yes, that's exactly right. That was one of the reasons I'd always wanted to be an actor when I was at university. So I started doing stand-up comedy as I thought it would be a really good acting exercise. You know, it's just you up on the stage. Often what you're saying is very tightly scripted, but it has to sound like it's coming off the top of your head. So it's a really good way to get over stage fright as well, all of those things. And then I found I really enjoyed it because I had autonomy. I had control for myself over everything I was doing, and it is really empowering, especially when you're a girl in an industry that's full of boys as well, to not have to rely on anyone except yourself. It was great.
In my research, Corinne, you're an outstanding student at school. When it came time to choose a job career, did you feel pressured?
There was a big push, probably the start of the push to move girls into doing STEM subjects. So I felt a lot of pressure to do maths in year 11. I'm just not gifted for maths, which is fine. Some people are, some people aren't. I just don't really get it. But it was a real push, you know, you're smart at everything else, you should do maths, you should do maths. So I started and I failed. And I was really upset about that. And I wasn't upset that I failed, because you always learn something from failing, and also failing's not the end of the world. But I was annoyed that I let myself be pushed into something that I knew I didn't want to do. And that was one of the first ways that I learnt that you need to really listen to yourself and know what you want and then stand up for it. So when I finished school, I had the marks to get into law. But coming from a small country town, I'd never met a lawyer before. And my idea of a lawyer was someone who was in a suit and wore high heels and had a briefcase and, you know, was very prim and proper. And that just wasn't me, and I didn't want to do it. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I didn't want to do that. And a few of my really close girlfriends had decided to do nursing. And so I thought, I'll do that, because then I can get to stay with them. I only have to go to the next town. I don't have to go all the way to Melbourne. I can just go to Albury-Wodonga to study. That's only an hour and a half away from my small town. I'll go there and I'll become a nurse. Well, that didn't work either, because nursing was a whole new way of teaching nursing. It was the first time it was being done at university, and they didn't quite know what to teach us. So they taught us first year medicine, and that has a lot of maths. And so I was stuck back at square one, so I flogged myself all the way through it, and I did okay. And then I found out that everything that they had been teaching me, I wasn't allowed to do as a nurse, because only doctors were allowed to do it. And that, I thought, you know what? If I'm going to be true to myself, I can't live the rest of my life in a career where I know how to do something and I'm not allowed to do it. So that was when I was doing that, and I was still, I think, probably somewhere in the back of my head, I always knew that I wanted to be a performer, but I was too scared to say it out loud because, again, small country town, there weren't role models around who did that kind of thing, so I didn't know who to talk to about it or where to go. And so it was only when I'd moved away from home a little bit. What I did was, when I was at university, I transferred from my nursing degree to an arts degree. So I transferred from Wodonga University, La Trobe, to Melbourne University, La Trobe, and changed degrees, was accepted, and then I told my parents what I'd done.
Did that go down well?
It sort of went down well, because somehow I convinced my father that I was going to get a degree where I would be an international financier at the end of it. I don't know what that is either. And so I went off and I did my arts degree and I got more involved in that, and I sort of just fell into performing, and my parents have accepted it, obviously, because I did okay at it and I made a good living out of it, but I think they're much more comfortable with me being a lawyer now because they know what that is. And I'm not embarrassing them all the time either.
What advice would you give to students when it comes time to choose a career from your own experience?
Right, I have very firm views on this. Year 11 and Year 12 are not the end of your life. You don't have to get everything perfect in Year 11 and Year 12. Do your best, have fun. If for whatever reason you don't get the marks that you needed to get into whatever your dream course was, doesn't matter, there are other ways of getting into it. I know so many people, including myself, who started off doing one thing and ended up doing something completely different. You remember I told you I didn't want to be a lawyer? What am I now?
A lawyer.
I'm a lawyer. But it took me a long time in my life to figure out that that was what I was going to do. And also the marks that I got at school didn't matter, because I got into law from doing a different degree, and then I got in as a mature age student. You can get into university through doing a TAFE course. You can get into one course from doing another course and moving in. Or you know what? You might start uni, start doing what you think is your dream job, and then think, I don't like this, which is what I did with nursing. Year 11 and Year 12 are not the beginning nor the end of your life. They're part of your journey. And you are still, I know you don't believe it when you're that age, but you are still very young, and there are so many more adventures to have. And if you get to Year 11 or Year 12 and you still don't know what you want to do, it doesn't matter.
At what point did you realise your passion?
I always knew what I enjoyed doing was creating. So doing some kind of theatre or doing performance, I loved writing. anything where I could create something. So that was always my passion. I don't think I really nutted out exactly what it was until I decided I didn't want to do comedy anymore. So comedy was something that I was doing because I was good at it and people just kept giving me work, but it wasn't anything I ever really deliberately planned to do. The plan was to be an actor. I wound up being a comedian, pretty good deal, made a really good living out of it, had a wonderful, exciting life. And then it got a bit boring and I didn't want to do it anymore and I wanted to change and do something else. And I was left going, but do what? So I had to go back to what was my passion. And I realised my passion was I love working with a group of people, don't like working on my own. A lot of comedy is working on your own unless you're working on a television show. Didn't want to work on my own, wanted to work with a group of people, wanted to do something that really made me have to use a lot of my brain. I like thinking, I like problem solving, and I like projects that start and finish. So law is good for those kinds of things. Uses your brain a lot, you work in a team of other people, a case starts and then it finishes. You start your case, you do it, it goes to court, you get a judgment and it ends. So that I think was the lesson, that if me now could go back in time and have a conversation with my 11-year-old self or my 15-year-old self, it would be figure out what you really enjoy and the job will come around that.
Corinne, when did you become bored with comedy?
I'd done everything that I wanted to do. I'd done television, I'd done film, I had travelled around the world, I'd done live stand-up, I'd done radio, I'd kind of done all of the bits and pieces, and whatever I was doing was kind of starting to feel a little bit the same. And also, this is something I've been doing for 20 years, so I also thought, maybe you just need a break from it. So I went over to France. I'd always wanted to travel to France, and I'd earned enough money to be able to take 4 months off, so I went over to France for 4 months. Learnt French, lived in Lyon, met a lot of good people, loved it, came back, realised I hadn't thought about comedy or missed it the whole time I was gone. And that's when I realised, time to get out.
What transferable skills have you been able to take over from comedy to law?
How to think on your feet, how to not take things personally.
Yeah.
Because both law and comedy are built on words, and words can be used to be kind, or words can be used as weapons and to be really aggressive. And the one thing to remember in any kind of performing or in law as well is that people might not like what you say, might not find it funny, might disagree with you, might even be angry with you, but it's not a reflection on who you are. They don't know you. So then they don't think you're a bad person. They might just think your act is terrible. But it's not the same thing as thinking you're terrible. I saw a lot of comedians start and not go on because they couldn't separate who they were as a person from who they were as a performer. And I think that's true in this social media world we live in now as well, is when people are online and saying things about you, they don't know who you are. They can't actually like you or dislike you because they've never met you. They don't know anything about you. So it's all just rubbish. It's really important to keep those things separate. And that is important in law and in comedy, and being able to talk. Blah, 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 blah.
The gift of the gab.
Gift of the gab, yes.
Corinne, thank you very much for sharing your super inspiring story with us young creatives. And I think to anybody watching, it will inspire those creative ideas to become a lawyer, a writer, a comedian, and just anything that they want to do with the advice you've given. I have a gift for you.
It's been my absolute pleasure to be here today as well. I've loved it.
It's been really good to have you, like watching you on the screen for so long, but to actually hear and see you. Because I think a lot of people watching would know you from your work in the past, but here's the first thing.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, gosh, isn't that gorgeous? Wowee. Oh, I love it. Oh, look at all the little, oh, The Glass House, my favourite show.
And we've got the motorbike going through the cans and you and your friend on the other side.
Oh my,
from
oh
Rove.
yes. Oh, that's funny. Oh, I love it.
Hi. It's really nice to meet you because I've seen all your...
It's nice to meet you. Oh, thank you so much.
Hello, hi, I'm Corinne. Hello.
Hi, Corinne.
Hello.
Hello.
I was just wondering, when did you start performing?
I've been performing my whole life, like musically, and I've also been doing comedic stuff, but I haven't really been showcasing it anywhere, except for about a year and a half ago when I started an account for Karen.
At what point in the journey were you inspired to create Karen or start performing as a Karen?
Well, I saw a video on my TikTok For You page and it was like of a Karen. So I tried to mimic it and I mimicked it to my sister. And she's like, wow, you're like really good at it. So I started doing little Karen videos, but never posting them up until I showed my family. And then they're like, this is so cool and funny and relatable. So we started an account for her.
That's really good. And also, where do you get the ideas? Because it's one thing to be a Karen, but Karen's lost or Karen's at the beach. And the microfiber towel video, I have to say, was amazing. I saw that a couple of days ago.
Thank you so much. Well, I get most of my experiences just out of personal experiences, some of the older people in my life. But yeah, just experience I've picked up along the road.
Did you ever think that Karen would go viral?
Absolutely not. I always wanted it to, but I never really thought it could actually happen. So now that it actually has happened, it's just crazy to think about even now.
Riley, could we have a chat with Karen?
Yeah, of course, I'll go get her. Karen! Karen Smith! Come here. Hello? Sit down. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing to be talking with you.
Oh, hello, it's nice to be talking to you.
Actual live conversation with you is amazing. So, Corinne, this is Karen, and Karen, this is Corinne.
Hi.
Hello, Corinne.
Oh gosh, look at you.
Karen, given that you're 54, what pointers could you give Corinne?
Well, Corinne, I hear that you're 49 years old. You're about to hit the 50. 50's when kind of the Karen life starts, so I just want to give you a warm welcome to the Karen community on the letter, of course. Just congratulations for stepping into this new chapter in life. 50s, in your 50s, it's the best stage of life. So say goodbye to all that stress, say hello to retirement.
Oh, Karen, will I become more Karen the older I get, do you think?
Very much so, yes.
That
I
is
found that I've become a bit more grateful as I progressed in my age, yes.
Right. So this is what I've got to look forward to.
It is.
Oh,
This is your future you're looking at.
Corinne, would you have felt lucky to have platforms like Instagram and Facebook to post your content?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe if that was how it started out, maybe. Yes, I don't know. I mean, for Karen, it's been a great success. I kind of feel for Karen, this is her whole world. I'm not sure where Karen would have found friends if it wasn't on the internet.
Yeah,
Today's show, that's actually how I found her. Because the screen time thing was hilarious. It's very true.
Thank you so much.
Not enough. Like 4 minutes
Oh, no.
at least.
Yeah, or not. At least 5 minutes. That's all I was asking.
Yeah. I think
2 minutes.
we can do a game of charades, Karen.
Yes, I'd love to. Yes, please.
Karen, you're going to be given the first card. I can't see it. I'm going to hold it up to the screen for you.
All right. Perfect. Too easy. All right, I'll start.
Karen.
Laughing, comedy,
Laughing.
audience,
Your audience. Speaking. Microphone.
stand
You
up.
don't know. You don't know.
Comedy?
You're talking about yourself.
Laughing,
Thing.
conversation.
Karen. Riley.
Performer, comedian. Oh, Corinne. Okay, all right. Thank you for that
Comedian.
very gentle
you got it.
impersonation.
You got it.
I got it?
Comedian. It wasn't.
Oh, it was comedian. Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. It's me up next to act it out, so I have to go see the car.
Karen and I are just going to talk about what it's like to be in our 50s.
Well, you're almost there.
I'm almost there. I've got a
Almost
month or
there.
two. I've got a month or two to go. Will my
Yeah,
joints start to ache, Karen?
Yeah, very much so. I'll do more back once every 2 weeks. You know, it's not fun, but you know, it's still fun being in your 50s. For me, it was the best years of my life. Yeah.
Oh, Karen, I'm concerned that I'm going to start pulling those faces. Okay, we're both going to close our eyes.
So this one involves costume and a bit of sound, or no sound. Okay. Okay, you can open your eyes. Wait, we've got to do the 2 words and all that, so I'm a person, okay?
You are a singer. Are you
Yeah,
John
singer.
Bon Jovi? Do either of you even know who John Bon Jovi is? I don't.
Yes, of course, of course. Shut down the heart and your dream.
Of course you do. Karen, this is from your heyday, isn't it, John Bon Jovi? Okay, it's not John Bon Jovi.
And
Harry Styles.
no,
Billy Joel.
no,
Bruce Springsteen.
yes.
Oh no!
He's my favourite.
Oh, God,
He's my favourite, Karen. He's my favourite. If I could
love
marry him, I would.
Bruce.
All right. 1 word, 2 syllables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Person.
Okay.
For I know who this is. Are you Beethoven?
Corinne.
Telling people off.
Karen.
Oh, I don't get.
It's not
I'm so dumb.
very, very close.
Oh,
Very close. Boomer.
telling people off.
Hater.
Karen, as in like a generalized Karen.
What do I do?
You play piano.
Hater.
Oh, computer screen junkie.
What do I do for a living?
Lawyer.
Lawyer. Lawyer.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was so close.
Person who tells people off. Yes.
Yes.
That is a lawyer.
Wait.
Okay, I can see it. All right. Let's go.
1 word.
Word.
Oh, 1 word. 2 syllable. Oh, 1 syllable.
Oh. Yep.
Karen. Riley?
Roll. No, 1
Roll.
syllable. So it'll be like roll, cough, sick.
Cough. Sick. Computer, you're looking at something. What are you looking at? Yourself. You look. Sorry,
No, it's a person.
choking.
Oh, we're going to need a hint.
Heel.
Oh, I saw it. I saw it. I won't. That's not fair on Karen, Mum. You can get cross with my mum. Would you like to get cross with my mum, Karen?
Yes.
Read her.
I'd like to have a word, plug. How dare you show that? Okay, I thought I had something.
I am so sorry, Karen.
No,
The
That's
last
not good
thing I
enough.
ever want to do is
Not good
upset
enough.
you.
no, that's done. Not just spoke to the manager, plug.
I feel
You
terrible.
just ruined my day. Nah,
I'll spin you
That's it.
back round to the professionals.
I'm honestly just disgusted, Karen.
I'm so embarrassed.
yeah, me too.
It's your turn.
I'm
Oh,
so embarrassed.
Disgusted by this.
I wouldn't,
Yeah.
I mean, if you cancelled the interview right now, I wouldn't hold it against you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be cancelling the interview. And I have the right to. This is
We must do, we
ridiculous.
must do.
Absolutely outrageous. It's unethical. It's unprofessional.
Karen, seeing as we're on the same page here, if we don't involve my mother as much, maybe we could come
Okay.
to terms of agreement.
Maybe.
So we'll get you a new card, okay?
All right. I've got it.
One word. One syllable. Licking something. You're licking something. Puppy. Slush puppies. Slush puppies.
Cat.
Dog.
Cat. Karen, I'm so glad we pushed through that. We nearly lost her. We got her back.
Yeah.
Gee, you're a fiery one, Karen.
First thing I said to my friends in ELC, you're a pocket rocket.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Keep going. I'm just joking.
Karen, would it be possible to talk to Riley?
I gotta get that little rich. I'm back.
Hi, Riley.
Hi, Riley.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. Actually, there's a difference. Even though you guys are looking exactly the same, you feel like you're talking to a different person.
I get told that one a lot.
Well, then it means it's true. It was really lovely to talk to both you and Karen. So tell her because I didn't get a chance just because all the rage was a bit swelling. So it wasn't the best.
It was nice talking to you guys too.
Yeah.
All the very best, Riley.
You too.
Tell Karen I'll come up for a 60th.
I will.
See.
Bye.
That was hilarious.
She's amazing.
I know.
I'm going to have to go and watch that
Do you want to
stuff.
see? Do you have Instagram?
I do. I'll check it when I get home.
So it's Karen Smith _1968.